Hello, everyone, and it is the Gaming Duo podcast here. We're your hosts, Kelvin and Rob. If you listen to our last news piece, we talked about Mario. It is October 6th right now, and we also got a little bit of a Pokemon trailer. Not really a trailer, more of just more information about Pokemon, and we're going to just talk about that. We're going to pull it up for our audio, for our video watchers. We'll have the video in the background here, and there's a couple of things that they showed, right, Kelv? What did you think of the trailer?
The trailer was really good. I think this is probably the most in-depth trailer we've gotten so far of like what to expect and how the game is actually going to look, play, all that good stuff. And I was already sold. Now I'm just even more sold. Like, I can't wait to play this game. Like, it looks like it's going to be the like definitive Pokemon game to play.
Are you actually, and for you guys that don't really know, Kelvin's a Pokemon fan, but he's not like a die-hard Pokemon fan. He enjoys them. Are you actually excited to get and play this game in your hands and play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it looks like a true, I mean, again, we say this like every time, right? A new Pokemon game comes out, but like it just feels like this is what we've been getting to the right track, right? We're getting to the point where the Pokemon company is realizing what gamers, what players really want from a Pokemon game, and it's kind of this. It's kind of like the Pokemon Coliseum, or like Pokemon Coliseum thing that we wanted with like going through different worlds and just like exploring, capturing Pokemon, doing all that sorts of stuff. And this looks like it's close to that.
It seems like the Pokemon company is making more jumps than usual, right? Like they're trying to change things up. I mean, like I said, Sword and Shield, they kind of made it. They try to change it up a little bit, but they kind of went like half-assed with it when it came for like the open area and stuff like that. Whereas this feels like they're fully committed to giving you more of that open world experience, which we can see here. And they took a little bit of stuff from Arceus, like that wasn't lost. Not all of that was lost. It's still present in this game. They still have the gimmicks. They still have the terraforming and stuff like that. But this trailer just kind of went more in depth about everything, right? We also saw that there is a new Pokemon that they revealed, and its name is Farigiraf. It is the evolved form of Giraffary, who is a Pokemon from Johto. It is a psychic normal type, and I like that they're sprinkling the Pokemon in these trailers. They don't give us like a whole list, like here's a new Pokemon. It's just in each trailer, like they give you little snippets of what new Pokemon are going to be in there. What do you think of Farigiraf?
Farigiraf, he looks cool. I mean, he's fine. I don't. To me, that wasn't like the showcase for this. To be honest, it's just like the different elements that they're showing. Like right now, the fact that you're able to use like those gimmick forms. I don't know. I forget the proper name of it. Terraforms. That changes your Pokemon's element in a sense, right? So you can change, kind of mix and match your Pokemon's element to match whatever your opponent's is. So you can kind of give it the advantage that you need.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not crazy about the terraform because I know for a fact it is a gimmick. But
it's not going to be on the next Pokemon, right?
Right, and I wish they would have done more with what it looks like. So, for example, it's just a little chandelier hat that goes onto each Pokemon, and all of them look the same for the most part. Like the hats, like the ghost hat has a ghost on it. I wish they would have done more with like, for example, if Pikachu's terraform was like fire, I wish it had like he would have like a fire like coming out of his fist or something like that, or like basically like
he has a fire chandelier,
Yeah, but it's a chandelier. It looks stupid to me. It doesn't look badass. It looks kind of dumb.
I guess. Yeah, I get that, but again, that is kind of cool because you can kind of you can have a Pikachu and you can change its
type to leaf type.
Its type to leaf type if you wanted to, which is kind of cool.
That is cool. That is kind of cool.
But then it kind of begs to differ. Like, does it matter now what Pokemon's types are? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, this looks really cool. They really are focusing on the open world, and you can kind of tackle the adventure any way you want. Like, if you just want to like go catch Pokemon, you can just do that. If you want to go fight the Elite Four, you can do that. If you want to go for the gyms, you can do that. So the Pokemon Company, especially in this trailer, really, really wanted you to know that like you can do whatever you want.
I like these campsites. Like this is going into like these bases, and you're fighting these like these like little small camps, and you can just kind of go in there and then just like destroy each camp.
But your Pokemon isn't actually fighting anymore. right? It's like an auto battler in a sense. Like you're not actually picking the attacks. It just goes in, just like kills all the other Pokemon. Now when you fight the leader of the camp, which we're showing right now in the trailer, that's when you actually fight it. So I don't know if you notice, if you go back, you're going to go ahead and see that the Pokemon are not actually, you don't get to pick its attacks. It's just they're kind of just like automatically fighting those Pokemon.
Now, is that an option that you can choose to go back and forth with? Because I know I saw that when you're traversing through the world, right? And I think that's kind of like a nice little, I don't know, quality of life thing, right? That you don't have to like go through every single battle every single time. Remember back in the day, you would just have to fight every single Pokemon over and away. Like this is just kind of like quick, snappy. Like, all right, let's get it. I got my experience. Let's move on.
I think I like that aspect. I like that I can just kind of like send them out. They're gonna go fight whatever's out there and then be done. I don't want to go and like wait every single second, pick every single attack, because it just gets tedious after a while. Like,
right.
Let's just do this.
So I don't know if that's gonna be something like you can switch off on and off. I know like right now you can do it, right? But like when you're going into those base camps, can you actually fight these Pokemon if you wanted to, or just
I don't know,
do the auto fighting?
It might be auto fighting because it's a base. It's like a base. You know what I mean? Like maybe special bases have. They also did kept some of the big Pokemon from Sword and Shield in a sense. As you can see, this is a combination of Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus. Honestly, like. Yeah. Which is, I love that they included both of those things. So
now, Rob, you being the Pokemon fanatic, you being the Pokemon guy, I put you right up there with Kevin, right, from Bingeworthy Gaming. What do you think of this? Like, are you, the more that you see this game, it's coming out soon. It's coming out in November. Do you think this is up there with like one of the best Pokemon games that you would play? Like just like hypothetically seeing everything that you've seen so far.
From what I've seen with Pokemon, a lot of it has to do with how it plays, in my opinion. Like you have to actually be playing the game with the controller and stuff like that and have your hands on it to truly enjoy the adventure. Let's be honest, Pokemon isn't a visually striking game, right? Like it's just not that visually striking. It's all comes down to the gameplay. And how immersive the world is, right? And capturing these things. So it's hard for me to say, but based on what they're trying to do, it seems, I think they're gonna knock it out of the park. I mean, I haven't been this excited. I haven't been like this. I don't know what's going on in a long time. Yeah, exactly. Right, I don't know what's going on with like, because everything was always like kind of predictable, right? Now this is they kind of shaking up the formula quite a bit. And what's really cool, what they're showing right now in the trailer, is you can actually take pictures of your Pokemon, and that's what the Pokedex entry will look like. Yeah. And I think that's really cool.
A lot of customizable things, a lot of like, again, quality of life things that you didn't think you would need, but you're like, oh, this is actually really cool. Like they need to implement this moving forward, right? I just love the aesthetic of the game. Like everything looks pretty. Everything looks, I mean, obviously not gorgeous as far as like graphic fidelity goes, right? But it looks pretty enough. It looks good. They have shading. It has like lighting. It has good stuff going on. And for the most part,
that frame rate looks. You see it. Yeah, you see the frame rate. The frame rate's dropping like crazy. That's a switch,
But like, again, like they have a lot of cool things, cool ideas. I think once we get a little bit closer to the end of this trailer, I started losing interest when they started talking about the whole picnic aspect to it. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, but the fact that when you're able to do a picnic, you're able to like clean your Pokemon and feed your Pokemon. You're able to make sandwiches. That is all cool, and to some people, I understand why people would like that. That to me, I'm like, this I will never ever do unless I have to.
I mean, that stuff helps for happiness, and for Pokemon, some Pokemon evolve using happiness. Like they have like a happiness stat, and depending on how good you treat your Pokemon, you give it haircuts, you give it food, you use it in battle a lot, will determine if that Pokemon will evolve. For example, like Eevee. In order for him to turn into Sylveon, Espeon, or Umbreon, he needs to have his happiness high enough in order to evolve. So that does actually tie into the gameplay if you do want to evolve some of your Pokemon. So that just kind of always been in Pokemon games. In this game, it's more prominent because it's like they're making it a big deal. Like you should do picnics and stuff like that. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. Don't do it. But it's like in a Pokemon show, you know how like Ash, Brock, and Misty would like sit on the side with their
Sure.
Pokemon and have a little, So
I get it, but just as far as for this trailer goes, I think it kind of, I was like all in. Like even this part, I'm like, all right, cool. There's a lot of options, there's a lot of customizable pieces to it that you can change, like do a whole screenshot selfie thing. Like that's cool. But then this is the part where I'm like, all right, this is like the least important thing to me. This is the most least like fun aspect to the game.
Again, yeah, this is for us, yes, but you got to think about too, like who. Pokemon's not just for adults.
Target audience.
It's for kids. This is a very kid-friendly kind of thing. Like, I could take pictures of my creature. Like, think about that. If you were a kid and they had this stuff, you would probably love this stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. And don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's adults there, too, that are, like, all about this, and that's totally fine. But for me, this part doesn't really scream what I wanted or what I envisioned a Pokemon game would be like, in this day and age. Again, not to say this is bad by any means. It's good that they have both, right? Like it has my aspect of like, it has like the open world aspect. And in the beginning of the trailer, they showed you can open up the map and then you can kind of pick where you want to go. Again, kind of like a whole huge open world RPG game, right? So that, like, those are cool aspects that I am like, all right, this is going to be a really open, fleshed out world that you can just kind of go wherever you want and enjoy like little like options that you want to do, like little quests or things like that. Like it seems like it's going to be that in depth.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sandwich making. Yeah, this looks fun. Honestly, it looks fun. I would do this. I'm going to do this shit. Finish it off with a pick, and then you get to give your Pokemon that, and they're going to be happy and good to go. Like, let's go. They're going all in with the quality of life. I love it. I love it. Look, they're all eating. They're all eating the sandwich. They're happy as fuck.
No, they like it. They like it. It's fine. And then you can rate your sandwich. You could name it or something. Like it names like the type of sandwich.
Look, leveling up, raid power, ground up, encounter power, like you get benefits to doing it. So, maybe you'll hate it now, but maybe you might turn around and be like, all right, maybe I have to do something I gotta do.
Do Pokemon stats really matter though? Like that's one of the biggest issues with Pokemon, right? Like stats aren't a huge factor in this game.
Oh yeah, they do. Stats matter.
No, not that much.
If you play professionally, stats matter.
Professionally in this game,
in multiplayer,
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. There's EV training. There's a whole scene.
You're talking about tail whip is an important part of the game.
Yes, defensive moves and all that stuff are very important games. Are very important. I used to. Kelvin, you're very naive, sir. There is a whole world, and that is why I'm the Pokemon fan, and you're not.
That is true. That is true.
But as long as you like it, it's grabbing your attention, and I think it did its job, right? If it's taking someone like you to be like, oh no, actually, I'm interested in what you have to offer now. So,
going back to, I mean, right now what we're seeing, they're kind of still bringing in that. What is this called? Back from the
it's a raid battle.
The raid battles. Do you like the raid battles? Is that something that you kind of found interesting last time, or
not really? I was never a big fan of the raid battles personally. It didn't do anything for me for the most part. They were always kind of like the same kind of thing. It was very repetitive. But you got cool Pokemon out of it, and that's what I liked. I liked that I could get some really cool Pokemon from getting these things. You work as a team. Again, this is another thing where I can see other people loving it, but for me personally, like you are with the sandwich thing, I don't really care for like this type of stuff, right? Yeah. But this is cool that it is a feature. They didn't take it away. They kept it.
Interesting that they didn't. Yeah. I mean, again, it's how much does this play a role in the game? We'll have to find out, right? Because I feel like the raid battles didn't play that much of a role. I think they played a pretty heavy role in Sword and Shield, right?
Decent. It was when they were first introduced. Yeah, and that was like the big thing about VMAX was like they were bigger and you had to like tackle it as like a monster together. Again, this is just a way for other people to connect and other than just battling, right? Just battling each other. It's like this is another way we can participate and play in multiplayer without just doing battling. So I think Pokemon's doing a really good job here.
Before we leave, from what I saw, nothing about the 4-player co-op, which I'm really interested to see. I want to see how well we can play, how well it works, right? To see if I can play and go into your world, you come into my world, and we can just kind of tackle some quests together. Like I think that would have been really cool to see here.
Yeah, I think we'll have more right before it releases. So maybe later this month we might get a little bit of info, or this might be the last trailer we get for Pokemon. So it might be something that might be delayed actually, or I don't know. I have no idea.
That scares me if they haven't shown it yet, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, again, Pokemon for me is always kind of like your own kind of adventure. And then if you want to trade with somebody, you trade with somebody. But it is cool to see that it have a bunch of people in your world and you can show off your Pokemon. So
cool.
Yeah. Well, last question for you. Do you know which version you're getting at?
You keep asking me this. I don't know, man.
It's gonna be.
It's Scarlet for me, I guess.
All right. Well, I'll have to get Violet maybe, but we shall see. Well, guys, that is it for the news right now. Some Pokemon news, and we just covered Mario. So if you want to go check that out, that's was released today as well. And we will catch you guys on the next news piece. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
And bye.